Hey, Nomad here with the Career Musician, and today we're talking about 7 steps that you can take to level up your career in music. Let's get right to it. Here's the blog. You just go to thecareermusician.com on the site menu and you can click blog and bam, you're in. So listen, these are things that I've done in my career that have helped me succeed and helped me get to like the next level, each stepping stone, if you will. And I truly believe that if you apply some of these strategies, you are going to have positive results. Number 1 being, don't be shy. I know as musicians, creatives, a lot of times we can be introverted. I know I used to be like that. I've become more extroverted over time. But if you are, you have to remember this. If you don't talk about what you're doing and your music and your goals, then who else is gonna? Nobody can really. So you have to share about that. Now, there's definitely a fine line between confidence and arrogance. So don't come off as a braggadocious a-hole, so to speak. You know, I can't stand that actually, and people can see right through that. But if you're genuine, sincere, people will also detect that and they'll be more prone to, you know, want to work with you. Now, the other way is flip the script. Make it about them and say, hey, by the way, this is what I do. I'd love to hear more about what you do. Perhaps we can do a collab. And bam, you know, now you're talking about what you're doing, what they're doing, and you've created a bond, hopefully, that you can do some work with. All right. Ask and you shall receive. Number 2, the only way to manifest success is to make your intentions known. Like I said, if you're not talking about it, who is? So don't be afraid to ask for what you need. As long as you're reasonable and respectful. Same thing about the confidence versus arrogance. And listen, even the highest level artists, musicians, producers, executives will respond and want to help you out. Now, whether they help you out in the way that you thought they should or not, different story. Maybe they're going to give you some pointers. Maybe they'll give you some tips. Maybe they'll give you a critique in which you can learn from. Maybe they're going to give you a big, fat, resounding no. But guess what? It takes a heck of a lot of failures to get to success. So do not be, discouraged by that. That's just part of the process. And actually, before I had 150 episodes of The Career Musician, guess how many we had? None. But then when I was in certain situations, like I was doing the film score for Ferdinand, I was playing flamenco guitar with a flamenco guitar trio. It was awesome. I got my butt kicked and I learned a lot that day. Over lunch, I said, hey, John, would you mind doing a podcast? He said, sure. If I would have never asked him, that opportunity would have never been had for all of us to, learn from his knowledge, wisdom, and all of his experience throughout his career. So check out his episode of the podcast, episode number 5. Number 3, for the 7 steps to leveling up your career. Cultivate relationships for the long haul. Do not be one of those people that are like, all hype. And then when you go to text somebody, you don't respond, or you text somebody and they ghost you, or vice versa. Somebody texts you and you ghost them. That's not the way to build a strong network. Trust me, people will know that you're all hype and Mr. and Mrs. Hollywood, and that's it. You're out. So another example is I compose music for video games. I hadn't spoken to this dude in over 8 years. He called me out of the blue and said, hey, man, would you like to compose for this game? I said, absolutely. He remembered that I'm a composer, and because we had a relationship from the past, we've already established trust. And let me tell you, every relationship is all about the trust factor, the trust foundation. You got to build that. Number 4 for the 7 steps, manage your expectations, but shoot for the stars. So in other words, maybe you want to be rich and famous. Maybe you want a Grammy. Whatever it is that you're aiming for, aim high, but manage your expectations. It's no secret. As musicians, we would all love to have the world singing our songs and playing our music and listening to it, right? But, this is a great point right here. To get noticed and be heard is one of the main reasons we pursue this endeavor so vigorously. While setting our sights on the highest of aspirations, it's also imperative to understand that things may take time and may not always pan out exactly how we imagine. So it's very important to remember. I moved to LA back in 2005 to get into film and TV music, And I did some great movie scores, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Happy Feet, Men in Black 3, and so forth. And that was great. And then all of a sudden I got the call to be the music director for perhaps one of the biggest writers and producers of the 90s, Babyface, Kenny Babyface Edmonds. And I had to jump on that opportunity. So my goals shifted a little bit. Well, my trajectory shifted a little bit, but I still had my sights set high. And then I ended up using that opportunity to my advantage by meeting all kinds of new people and expanding my network. And then I could still go back to my original intentions. So manage those expectations. Shoot super high, but keep your expectations, grounded. All right. And just if you don't make it overnight, don't get discouraged. Keep going. Number 5, look where others might not be looking or hanging around. Look, let's face it, any musician, again, is seeking for that road to success, but the line to success is definitely a crowded one. But where is everyone headed? Instead of standing in the same line, in this overcrowded line as everybody else, and they're going to, this event and that networking event and this mixer and this premiere, well, look for lines that may be a little bit shorter that other musicians aren't thinking about. As a boutique film and TV composer, meaning, I do small projects, really niche, because that's what I rely on. I mean, that's what I, lean on for my niche, right? I go to events that are a little bit more exclusive, that you're not going to find a lot of composers at. And there's plenty of organizations out there that hold these events. Learn more about them, get involved, join the Facebook groups, check out their online information and get involved. And if you can't break through that, barrier to entry, ask somebody who might be able to help you, or just start befriending people on the socials from that particular organization. All right, number 6 on this 7-step level up, act as if you're already winning. So, in other words, be the artist that you always dreamed of being. Start now. There's an age-old saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So look, another way to think of this, if you're already acting as if you've achieved the success that you're striving for, right? And operate as the big dogs do. But again, be careful, that fine line between confidence and arrogance. So don't be cocky and don't be a jerk, right? I'll give you another example. If you're seeking the notoriety of a Grammy or another award like that, do everything you can do to get involved with those people and, act on their level. Now, that doesn't mean to have this phony, hyperbolized, facade of what you've accomplished and who you are. No, don't be like that. But in other words, don't come at this from a level of, oh, I'm down here, woe is me, and you're looking up to them. Be like, oh, well, this is what I came here to do. I moved to LA, or, this is my mission, and this is why I'm here, and I'm so glad to finally be a part of this community. So treat it like that. Take that approach as if you're acting from the position that you have that success. You already are successful because of the fact that you're here meeting these people. That doesn't have to be LA. It could be on a Zoom call from around the world. I don't care. It could be an email correspondence that you had. It could be a DM exchange. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, just be confident and not arrogant and act as if, yes, I'm in this position because this is where I'm supposed to be. All right. And finally, drum roll, please. Number 7 to the 7 steps to level up your career. Know your why. You've heard that a million times, I'm sure, but why are you relentlessly pursuing a career in music? Why are you so passionate about your music? I know why I am. Look, I have this Latin blood in me. My father's from Cuba. I love playing Latin music, but I also love playing all kinds of other music. Pop, rock, soul, jazz, funk, classical, everything. And I'm just passionate about all these different styles. And I love kind of intertwining them into my compositions. That's why I do this. I didn't get into music to say, I am going to be rich and famous. But look, I'm not knocking that. If that's your goal, if you want to be Sam Smith or, Beyonce or Lady Gaga on the Grammys, go for it. Do your thing. But that's not why I started. If that is why you started, then you got to really examine it and figure out, okay, let me put together a logical POA, what I like to call plan of attack or plan of action to accomplish these goals. Now, By the way, it's okay to work multiple jobs outside of the music biz. You know, look, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but it pays for the pursuit. So you're going to want the peace of mind of knowing, okay, while I'm pursuing my music goals and a full-time career in music, it's okay that I'm working at the corner Starbucks, you know, for 4 hours in the early morning. And then from there, I go over and work at this place, at this, maybe this record label or this, whatever it is, or this startup tech company. And then at night, I'm poring over my music goals and ideas. Okay. It doesn't matter. As long as you're paying the bills and you are staying focused on what it is that you want to do, your end game. And this comes back to knowing your why. Listen, this is a blog from the career musician turned vlog. I want you to follow us on all the socials, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the little notifications bell, and hey, pass it on. Click the thumbs up, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Is there anything that you need help with, you know, for developing your career in music? How can I help you level up? Again, I have 30 plus years in the biz. I've been doing this a long time. And my philosophy is that methods may change, but principles remain the same. In other words, how we're creating music, how we're creating tech, and all this beautiful content that we're all working on, the methods to get there has changed drastically. But the principle remains the same. Build it and they shall come. You got to create it. You got to do it. You got to talk about it. You got to know why you're doing it. And trust me, it's going to happen. You're going to manifest it. So again, hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Drop me a DM, hit me up in the comments, and let's get this ball rolling to help you level up your career in music. Nomad signing off. Hey, Nomad here with the career musician.